Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends 60th Anniversary Iron Spider, and is he deluxe? I'm not sure. He's pricier than all the other ones. He's like $30 instead of the normal like 22 to 24 that we've been getting for the past like year. But let's move the figure out of the way real quick because I actually wanted to show off the box because I actually found this at Target, which is insane because normally, stuff doesn't show up in the Midwest, especially this early, because it's technically early, I guess, so to speak. It's definitely early because people are finding it in California and Florida and all that stuff, and usually they get them like 2 months in advance before we in the Midwest get anything. But I found him, only one of him in the collector area too. Someone must have just set him there. I don't know why they didn't get him, because I'm sure they bought all these other ones. And I'm hoping, manifest for me, I want to find the Renew Your Vows pack too. You can see this is what the new windowless packaging looks like, and I actually kind of like it. I mean, obviously it's terrifying to actually find in the store because you're like, oh, cool, I bet you, there's like it's literally a 50-50 shot on whether or not you're actually going to get the figure that's on the package and not either a misprint or, like, oh, cool, it's Iron Spider, opens it and it's a fucking vintage collection Boba Fett, like, you never know. But the art on the side looks really good. A little bit of posing on the back shows you what he comes with, all that good stuff. Got the silhouette of the figure on the front. I kind of wish that this was on the front, or even the like art itself I think would be kind of cool if it was on there. But I feel like more accurately, if they wanted to kind of keep the sort of aesthetic that Marvel Legends have had for the longest time, I think this should be on the front since he's not posed up, he's just in a static position. And I think it shows off the figure more beautifully than the actual like kind of posed up version from this. But we get the Spider-Man 60 Amazing Years on here, which is pretty cool. And then the logo as well. All the normal legal jargon. But without further ado, let's get into the figure. So taking a look at the figure, I'm going to be real honest. I originally was going to pass on this figure, and I'm so glad that I didn't because it's so fun. He has two major problems, although I guess three for some people if you can kind of see how he looks right now. You can see the third thing that I just realized on camera. The number one thing, taking a look at his accessories, he has fists, as you can see, and he also comes with flipping hands because, of course, he's Spider-Man, he's got to have flipping hands. But he doesn't come with any wall crawling hands, which is really dumb. This is like the last Spider-Man figure probably that we're going to get for a long time that doesn't have wall crawling hands because we all, banded together and we're like, Hasbro, it's Spider-Man. He needs wall crawling hands. This is an outrage. But he, comes with these three tentacles, which are really nice. He got the little bit of articulation, which I'll go over the articulation on these as well when we're looking at them because I'm not going to have these on him or anything like that for the rest of the review because that gets into the second problem. Because there's a hinge up here on all of them, a hinge at the middle, and then a hinge at where it plugs into the figure. And it's fine if you heat up the figure, but if you don't, it gives me Mafex Iron Spider vibes when that was very hard to get those in and you thought they were going to break at any moment. Because, I mean, the peg holes, like, they look fine on stuff, but, like, I heated it up, fit in perfectly, all that stuff, took them back out, the figure cooled down, tried to put them back in, wasn't happening. So, and I like him like this anyway. I think this looks sleek. I think it looks nice. And then the third problem that I said that I noticed on camera is that his torso and kind of crotch piece are a different kind of sheen than the rest of his body. But it's not that noticeable, like, at all, off camera. And then if you look right here, it's not as bad from the back, so... But it's fine. Then pulling him in for some detail. I mean, look at that. Look at how beautiful this figure looks. He just looks so nice. Pictures do not do him justice. You have to see him in person, and it's a shame you can't actually look at the figures in person anymore. But, buying the figure and all that stuff, just seeing him in person, like the sheen and all that stuff, he looks sleek. He feels smooth. His articulation is beautiful. And the figure he feels so high quality, and I absolutely love this, and I'm so happy to have this. Especially because I had the original one that came out from Hasbro. Is that what it was? Was it a Hasbro one? I had that one. That was like one of my first Spider-Man figures. So getting this is really nostalgic for me. It's pretty cool. It brings back memories of playing with that figure all the time, and now I get to mess around with this one. It's, worlds better. And speaking of it being worlds better, take a look at the articulation, because there really isn't much to look at for the detail, because it's a very simple design. He's got the logo on the chest and everything like that, which is applied very well, I must say. But his articulation, his head can go, it's on the classic hinge, go up all the way, down all the way. Little bit of tilt in there, rotation, of course. Shoulders go out that far. Butterfly joint comes in that far, back, that far, up, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that go up all the way. Both sets of hands are up and down, or back and forth hinge. As for his torso, I know a lot of people are kind of upset about the fact that he doesn't have the diaphragm joint, but I think it looks good. I think if they would have done it for him, I think this suit design, it would not lend itself very well because it would have broken it up a lot more. Kind of like what it did with the symbiote Spidey. But that figure's amazing, and so is this one. No pun intended. But I think this looks good. So, going back, can go back that far. 2 clicks can go that far forward. You can get him in some really good poses. Waist swivel, legs go out that far. Go back and forward that far. Thigh swivel, double jointed knees that are a little tight, but you got to be careful. You can go back that far. He does have a boot, I want to say, swivel. It's kind of a boot. I guess this is kind of a boot. Boot, shin, swivel, whatever you want to call it. Feet can go back that far, up that far, and of course, ankle pivot. And now taking a look at some size comparisons. Because of Civil War purposes, here he is next to the 20th anniversary Captain America and the controller Build-A-Figure Wave Iron Man. And yes, I did paint Cap's eyes, and I did completely repaint the Iron Man, and I'm very happy with how this turned out. I may make a video on it at some point, but we'll see. I really hope that we get a modern armor Iron Man. That's my personal favorite Iron Man suit, and it would just be so good. I know Hasbro would nail it, so I really hope we get that next year, because I mean, every year we get a new Iron Man figure, right? Like at least one. And then here he is next to the Marvel Legends Retro Symbiote Spidey and the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap Body original, or first appearance Daredevil, whatever you want to call it. This looks good as well. I think that the height difference is there's a little bit of a height difference, right? There's a little bit of a build difference actually going on, but I think it's okay because when Peter had, because you got to get into continuity here with what it was. So Iron Spider Peter was he was a teenager when he got, you know, the suit from Tony during Civil War. But when he got the symbiote, wasn't he in his 20s maybe? Was he in his 20s? He wasn't in his 20s. Was he? Was he in college? Was he like late teens, early 20s? I think he was older when he got the symbiote in Secret Wars. So then he would have been when he got this suit. So I think this makes sense. And then as always, here he's next to the Mezco Netflix Daredevil. And then here he's next to the Mafex Endgame Captain America. I think this looks good as well. If you wanted to give, you wanted to maybe put this Iron Spider with this Daredevil and make it a sort of what if kind of thing, or if you wanted to be like, yeah, Peter made his own version of the Iron Spider suit, and I think this would work because he's shorter than both of them. So if you wanted to have him do that, and also because a little sneak peek, I will show you this real quick. So yeah, stay tuned on the channel for that. So overall, I like I said at the beginning, I was originally going to pass on this figure just because I don't really have that much of an attachment to the Iron Spider. I love the suit and I like Civil War and all that stuff, but I'm more of a classic kind of Spider-Man guy. And I feel like such an idiot for, having that thought process of wanting to pass on this figure, because this is, I've said it so much this year and I'm going to keep saying it probably as we get more of these Spider-Man 60th anniversary figures, this is going in the top 10, I'm sure, because this is the only thing that could maybe make it to where something else edges out over it is the fact that he doesn't have wall crawling hands. But other than that, this figure is fucking phenomenal. The articulation, the design, like how they executed it, it just looks beautiful. It's sleek and it feels so smooth and it poses like a dream. It's such a fun figure, and you will not be disappointed. If you are even a little bit of a fan of the Iron Spider suit, or if you just are a big fan of Spider-Man and you don't really care for the Iron Spider suit, get it anyway. You will not be disappointed in the slightest. So yeah, that's going to do it for me, and I will catch you all in the next one. See you.